We are taught that it took one falling apple to reveal the presence of the universal gravity that guides the planets. This story helped transform Isaac Newton into a monument, the flawless architect of the Age of Reason who brought permanent mathematical order to the natural world. In 1687, he published the Principia. The buyer was the world-renowned economist John Maynard Keynes. He expected to find a treasure trove of standard scientific drafts and mathematical proofs. Instead, he found over 1 million words dedicated to alchemy and the philosopher's stone. The papers revealed a man possessed by ancient prophecies, scouring the Bible for hidden timelines and using mathematics to predict the end of the world. After reviewing this hidden life, Keynes saw a figure far more complex than the sterile icon we recognize. He concluded that Newton was the last of the magicians. This duality began at Cambridge. While the university was closed during the Great Plague, Newton retreated into years of solitary work that would later become legendary. He proved that white light was not a single entity, but a mixture of colors. This separation of the visible spectrum formed the basis of his theory on the nature of light. He used this discovery to replace glass lenses with reflective mirrors, creating the first functional reflecting telescope. This work was built on a rigid demand for data. He famously stated that he framed no hypotheses. He refused to guess at the cause of a phenomenon if he couldn't prove it through direct measurement. But his commitment to rigorous proof only described half of his life. In private, he had already abandoned the central tenets of the Church of England. He spent years documenting why he believed the Holy Trinity was a corruption of the original scriptures, a heresy that would have ended his career if his colleagues had ever found the evidence. His research into the physical world often took a dark turn. He recorded a plague remedy that involved suspending a toad by its legs in a chimney for 3 days until it died, believing its remains could draw out poison from the body. These secret pursuits weren't a distraction from his science. To Newton, the laws of gravity and the secrets of the biblical prophets were both expressions of the same creator. He spent the same energy tracking the motion of the moon as he did attempting to transform lead into gold. To him, they were both paths to understanding the divine language of the universe. This obsession with details eventually led him away from Cambridge to the Royal Mint in London. He arrived during a massive economic crisis. Counterfeit coins were flooding the streets, undermining the value of the currency and threatening the stability of the state. He didn't just manage the problem from an office. He disguised himself to visit bars and taverns, conducting over 100 cross-examinations to dismantle criminal networks from the inside. He successfully prosecuted dozens of coiners while using his mathematical background to increase the physical accuracy and security of every coin minted in Britain. Whether he was hunting counterfeiters or comets, he applied the same relentless, data-driven methodology. He looked for the smallest deviations and followed them until the truth was revealed. We tend to think of the scientific revolution as a clean break from the past, a moment when cold reason finally won. But the foundations of modern physics were not built by a detached modern rationalist. Newton spent decades chasing biblical genealogies and alchemical recipes, showing a capacity for grinding, repetitive work that few others could endure. He was willing to stare at a single riddle for 10 years until a pattern emerged, and it was that exact refusal to look away that eventually allowed him to solve the mechanics of the heavens. The relentless curiosity that spent years seeking the philosopher's stone is the same force that fueled his development of calculus. To understand his genius, we have to accept his dual nature. It was the magician's obsessive need to find the hidden laws of the universe that ultimately gave us the tools to build the modern world.